On today's episode of Secrets to Scaling Your E-commerce Brand, I'm going to be talking about the Facebook ad problems that a lot of people have been facing in 2024. This is going to be the first part of a 3-part series that you guys are not going to want to miss. Today, we're going to be talking all about data loss, and this is massive. All 3 of these episodes that I'm going to be talking about are absolutely massive. I'm also going to have a resource for you guys to be able to take with you and try to solve some of these problems on your own, guys. Again, massive issues with data loss, but luckily I do have a solution for you guys. You're not going to want to miss this one. Hey guys, Jordan West back with another episode of Secrets to Scaling Your E-commerce Brand. Thank you so much for joining me here. There are literally thousands of you that listen to this podcast, and that makes me feel great and makes me feel like I'm actually doing something for you guys in the world and helping brands out. I know how difficult it can be running brands. You know, at one point we had up to 6 brands ourselves, and mostly through acquisitions or through selling, we've mostly now gone down. We actually had a very unfortunate incident happen with one of our brands recently that we're hoping to get back. If you guys have been following me online at all, that was a brutal incident that happened with our bank, which maybe I'll get into at some point and tell you guys the perils of taking different kinds of capital and all of that. So look out for an episode to do with that. But today, what I want to go through is I want to get through Facebook ad problems. Now, I went into this very, very high level, and I think it'd probably be good for you guys to go back and go into that high level episode. If you go back and look at Facebook ad problems in 2024, and if you go back to that episode, you'll see the high level analysis. You don't have to go back to that episode. So, if you're thinking, okay, Jordan, I just want to get through this episode and I want to see what you have to say here. I don't like to give guarantees, but I can tell you that if you listen to me on this and on what I am telling you right now, that you will be doing incredibly better at Facebook than you're doing right now. Now, the first part that I'm going to go through is about data loss. And so we're going to talk about data loss right now. And I'm going to go through and number one, why am I telling you this? And why do I even have the authority to tell you this? Well, number one, we are seeing massive numbers with our clients at Upgrowth Commerce, as well as with our brands, right? So it's not just our clients at Upgrowth Commerce. We're also seeing this with our brands. And I can tell you that we have clients that are scaling absolutely massive. There's a weekly metric that we track with our leadership team, and it's how many clients are meeting their customer acquisition cost targets. And right now at the agency, and this is, we have a fairly large client load, 88% of our clients are meeting customer acquisition cost targets. I can tell you that is not the general sentiment out there right now on Twitter and LinkedIn. And so what I want to do is really share this with you guys. I also do have a resource that at the end of this, I'm going to tell you guys about, and you guys can go to our website and go download this resource because I think this resource is going to be incredibly helpful for you. But I just want you to know, we're seeing absolutely incredible numbers. We've got a drinkware brand where we're seeing I'm looking on my screen here and I'm seeing about 4,000 purchases in March with an average of about 1144 is the average. So these are pretty decently sized numbers, and it just kind of continues to go on. And so we're seeing really, really great results. And so I want you guys to understand that, number one, this is not a pitch to come and work with us. I think that a lot of people can do this on their own. I don't think that the majority of people can. I think that there's probably 20 to 30% of you can accomplish this on your own. Number two, it's not actually as easy as people make it out to seem. But if you follow these steps from today, you're going to immediately see incredible results. So anyway, I've got a million results that I could share with you guys. Again, in the document, we kind of walk through a lot of this stuff. So first things first, and this is today's episode, we're going to talk about getting the right data. And this is absolutely massive. So here is the biggest issue that we see when we go and look at accounts, right? There are big data integrity issues. What it revolves around is the actual data that's being passed back into the API. So a lot of you have probably gone in and turned on advanced matching turned on the full matching within Shopify, right? And sending those signals back into the API. That's not good enough, right? It's not good enough. It's not sending all of the data that you need to do. So just because you've enabled advanced matching in Shopify does not mean that you're getting the kind of data. There is a massive limitation to the Shopify connector. That is the problem. It doesn't transmit enough data back to Meta's API to match what's actually happening with your site visitors and being able to track them. The impact of data loss is massive. And you're seeing it in your accounts. I can almost tell you anytime somebody tells me, oh yeah, like our accounts are really struggling. I'm like, what kind of CAPI connector are you using? They're like, oh, we're using the Shopify one. Okay, interesting. That's generally the first that it's generally the very first thing that I see when I look into an account. Now, let's talk about getting that right data back in. So having a conversions API connector, we'll now call CAPI connector, conversions API, it's crucial for Facebook ads because it helps mitigate the data loss due to browser restrictions like third-party cookie blocking and privacy settings. Post iOS 14.5, this is what happened. And it's a really big deal, right? It's a really big deal. And we've lost a lot of data. But with these CAPI connectors, you're actually able to get the data back, right? So number one, you get improved data accuracy and privacy compliance. So don't worry, it's completely compliant for you to send this all back. Number two, it's reduced data loss. Number three, it's better conversion tracking. And again, in the document, I go through all of this as well and into, a lot of detail. I don't want to go number one into all of this detail for the podcast. I want you guys to have an idea of some of these. And then I'll give you guys access to the document to be able to actually go through in a ton of detail. Back to number three, so better conversion tracking. So the CAPI allows for a more comprehensive tracking of user actions across multiple devices and touch points, which is huge, right? If you guys know, I love Triple Whale. Well, Triple Whale is able to track across all of these devices. CAPI connectors are actually able to then take that data and feed it back into your API to then get you better results. Number four, enhanced campaign optimization, right? With more complete and accurate data, you can actually optimize your Facebook ad campaigns better, right? Think about Facebook. It is a machine learning platform. It's probably the smartest machine learning platform out there. What do machines need to be better? More data, more accurate data, right? That's how they get better. And so with this is why we want to send this back. And then there's a bunch of customization and flexibility with CAPI that you can do. There's a bunch of really good providers. Again, I'll let you know a few of the providers that I like at the end of this as well. Let's talk about custom conversions. I want to give you guys a little story here. When I believe this is in January, I was testing something out for one of our brands, Little and Lively. And I know I talk about Little and Lively on here a lot. It's just one of the brands. My wife was continuing to run it. And it's one that I really love to test a lot of these things on. And so we were testing out a free plus shipping offer. I will tell you, I think we're converting somewhere around $3 a conversion. It was just crazy. And so we thought, we were probably losing between $7 and $8 per order, but we thought, okay, let's see if we can make up for this on LTV. The problem is we didn't. And I think we had about 3,000 purchases. So in the end, we ended up losing a decent amount of money. That's okay. I'm okay with that test. The problem is it really messed our pixel up, messed the API up because we weren't feeding it back into a custom conversion. Now I should have fed it back into a custom conversion that said free plus shipping offer instead of our main purchase conversion, because then our pixel went after other people just like that. We didn't want to go after other people like that. We wanted to go after people who spend hundreds of dollars on our clothes. And so that messed us up for a little while. We were able to recover in the end, continue to get great results. I know, I'm not a huge ROAS guy, but like, guys, that account for the lifetime of it is at 10 ROAS. We spent a substantial amount of money within that account. So really, really good results. So custom conversions can be incredible. It's just something I wanted to throw in there to talk to you guys about. So different offers and different products, sometimes it's better to have a custom conversion, especially if there are different business metrics being tied to it or different business objectives. You can get better optimization. You can get better ROI tracking. Implementing custom conversions is really, really simple. Now, let's talk about getting the right data, because you're probably like, okay, Jordan, I'm totally sold on a CAPI connector. So number one, let me talk about a few of the CAPI connectors that I like and that I suggest. And again, in the document that I'll get you guys to go and download after this, there are links to each one of them, like all three of them. I think that they are different sort of use cases. So number one is Popsicle. Love Popsicle. It's with an X, Popsicle. Yeah, love Popsicle. Really, really good team over there. The one limitation of them is that they're basically Facebook focused versus some of the others that actually take into account all of your other channels, including email, which is really, really interesting. So Popsicle is a great option, really good pricing. And I also really love the A/B testing nature and the incremental lift that they show on implementing Popsicle. And you can really see it from day one. We had a credit card that had expired. And so our Popsicle turned off. And I was like, what is going on with our ads? What is going on with our revenue? What's happening? And I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, Popsicle turned off. This is horrible. And so it was a beautiful A/B test to actually see what the impact of this is. And I think a lot of you are feeling this impact this year of just really realizing, oh my gosh, I do not have enough data. And so that it's a really, really big deal. Yeah. Number 2 is Elevar. Elevar is an amazing option. I would say it's a little bit more enterprise. It gives you a lot of really good options, but it uses Google Tag Manager. It's very cumbersome as far as I can tell. Their team is there to help out. The pricing is a little bit higher. Again, Elevar is a really, really great option if you want to go super hardcore. And number 3, a new one to the field here. Now there's others. There's Blot Out. There's all sorts of ones like that. I'm just giving you my top 3 right now. Number 3 is Upstackified, a new one that's come out. I think it's since last June, but really coming into their own right now. They do a lot of really interesting things, and they claim to have the most data loss. They also are able to follow customers across multiple devices as well, which is really interesting. And from what I've seen so far, we're beta testing it with a few clients right now. I've seen incredible results. They also are able to recapture a lot of abandoned emails as well, which is really interesting. So Upstackified, definitely recommend checking them out. Also, right now, their pricing is unreal. So I would definitely recommend going over to Upstackified and checking those guys out as well. I chatted with Michael, the owner, the other day, and I was like, I'd love to try you guys out. So go ahead and try those out. In the meantime, I do have this document for you guys. So if you guys want to go to upgrowthcommerce.com/ad problems, all one word, upgrowthcommerce.com/ad problems, you can download the document right there. And this will walk you through in detail all 3 of this 3-part series for you guys. So last time I put this out, I don't know, I had something like 100 downloads of it within the first day. Awesome. If you guys are listening again, you're like, oh, I kind of forget where I put that. Just go ahead back to upgrowthcommerce.com/ad problems and download that today. Thanks so much, guys. Next, we are going to be talking about the right creative. And so that is going to be the next episode. It's not going to be this sort of boring creative episode like you're used to, though. We're going to be diving in, and I may even have to go into 2 parts of it because there's going to be that much to go into. I just want to leave you with this. I was chatting with a friend the other day, and he's like, I've implemented all this stuff that you've talked about, and it's just not working. And I was thinking, it's like, did you think about the creative side? He's like, no, we just used creative that we had before that we thought would work well. Okay. So this is one of those levers that is a lot more difficult to get unless you get it. And so I'm going to attempt to help you guys in the next episode get it. So if you're loving this series, please subscribe. Share this with any friends that you think that this would help if they're struggling with their Facebook ads right now and things are just not good for them. Please share this episode with them. So again, next time, guys, we're going to be talking all about creative, and I want to give you a little bit of a hint. We're also going to, on top of creative, we're also going to be talking all about emotional IDs and how to actually talk to your customers. Again, thank you guys so much. If you want to download the document, upgrowthcommerce.com/ad problems. All right. See you guys later.